So once more we meet again. It is the next day from the last video. I don't know when I'm posting this one, but I've got my exhaust parts, well, most of them. The header, the previous owner, when he installed the header, put a these cars have the two O2 sensors, an upstream and downstream, and the downstream one is on the header and facing straight up, and it is right up against the wires are right up against the shaft boot. So that's probably not even good at this point. So I have ordered a O2 extension wire. I could cut and add wire myself, but the extension wire wasn't that expensive, so whatever. And my solution to the eBay exhaust is another eBay exhaust. This one, on the other hand, is actually made for a coupe, or not the coupe, the hatchback, so it should fit better. And actually stick out the end. I want this car in the end to be kind of nice. So this is more of a, I need this thing quieter right now solution than a permanent solution. Because I would actually like to get them like a name brand exhaust. I've never really had a name brand exhaust. Most of my Civics have had eBay exhausts, just like this one. But I'm also like almost 40 and I just want nice things. You know, pride of ownership is a thing. I'd like to have a nice name brand exhaust, like a, what do you call it, a Yohama. I think that's what I'm gonna get when I get the real one. But currently spent all my money on the car. Spent a little bit on parts. It's like 130 bucks. And I also bought a fill top catalytic converter in an effort to shut it up a little bit more. Now, speaking of wanting name brand parts, I kind of want a name brand header at some point in time too. However, like a DC header, like 400 bucks, which is a lot of money when the eBay header, I mean, does the same thing. A pipe is ultimately a pipe, and if it's the same width and dimension, then it's not going to do anything other than make me happy. So I need to have a real talk with myself before I do that and decide whether I'm going to stick with the D series for a while or if I want to swap it at some point. Because if I'm going to swap it at some point, maybe put a B series or even a K in here, that would be just wasting money. So, I mean, the exhaust, if I do a B series, I can keep the exhaust, whatever exhaust I put on it, or have it modified for a K series. But yeah, really wouldn't be able to use the header for that, obviously. So let me give you a quick before and show you how horrible this sounds. It probably won't come through on camera as bad as it really is, but hopefully you get what I'm getting at and how this honestly is like the worst sounding, one of the worst sounding Civics I've ever heard. It's pretty bad. Well, honestly, it doesn't sound as bad through the camera, which I figured it wouldn't, but trust me, it's bad. And also because of it being a exhaust for a coupe, it doesn't have the hoop for the rear suspension, so it rattles. Boy, does it rattle. So I'm gonna get started on this. I'm gonna jack it up and I'm gonna show you some of the things underneath and hopefully get back with you when it's done. Well, guess I'm full of it. It does have the hoop, but down there, it's quite a big at that angle. But you can see how clean the other side of this car is. Right up into the bumper support. That's unfortunate, but I saw those on eBay. So I'm gonna start on this, and I guess it's even got the center section. That's a hole. Huh. And that's also not tight, and I guess it does have a center section. Well, what the freak? Is it just poorly installed? Why is that so far? Aren't these supposed to be stainless? Why does that have a hole in it? Oh, well, that's interesting. So, yeah, okay, so that's a thing. Let me get to work on this. Before I crawl back out from underneath the car, I want to show you this awesomeness. And it must have had a downstream pipe, or a O2 center down there at some point in time, because there's a wire they obviously cut. You can see around the pipe here, where the flange, where that was leaking all over the damn place. So that's awesome. Give me a second to get out of this car and I'll show you what's going on. Alright, so we got this all laid out. I'm going to be honest with you. The guy told me that this kit was from a coupe, a 4-door, which is not the same as a 2-door. And I think I bought the exact same kit. I think it's the same kit. That is definitely a hole. A pretty good size one, and that hole lines up with that mount, which is broken off of the car. So I'm pretty sure that just snapped and twisted. That's great. I was definitely leaking from this pipe too. So that's great. And I showed you under the car that there was no seal around that. So that was all pretty awesome. Now I get to do this all in reverse. And I don't know if you can tell from this, but that flange is crooked AF. So that might have been why the entire exhaust was kinked at an angle. So that's amazing. You know, these Chinese exhausts, they get close. They're always so close, but they're just a little bit that they're off. So I've got them laid out, and as I thought, they are the exact same kit. So that's amazing. The only difference is this flange is about the extra flange length longer. I don't know how much of a difference that'll make. Well, a couple flanges, maybe. This is maybe an inch longer, but it's literally the same kit. But it's not money wasted, because I mean, there's a giant hole in that one. So, and I can actually put some sealant around the gaskets so they seal, which that's a thing. All right, I'll Guess I'll get on this. All right, the exhaust is in. I don't know what I actually accomplished here. The catalytic converter, I couldn't use it. I had to use the resonator pipe because the flanges on this were off just enough where it just wouldn't line up. The kit was exactly the same, so it doesn't stick out any farther. I am replacing a pipe with a hole in it, and I added Permatex to the gaskets, which the other guy should have done. I'm pretty sure they installed that section in upside down, and I was able to get an actual donut gasket and bolt with the springs on them, so it can actually flex and move up and down. So that's, I mean, it's shouldn't be as droney, I guess. And there's no holes in it. I don't know what it's gonna sound like. I still have the silencer in the back. So give me a second. We'll start this thing up and see what it sounds like. Alright, that is significantly better. I can live with that. And it only rattles a little bit. Alright, I accomplished something, yay! Alright, small victories. I'm still going to change that exhaust out though. So, last minute addition to the video. After I got the exhaust on, I pretty much went straight to bed. Had a nightmare of a ghost chasing me through a dark forest, and decided to name this car Onryo, which I believe is Japanese for vengeful spirit. That said, the car itself is actually pretty good. It's the parts that are bolted onto the car that are fighting me. So, surprise Pikachu phase, the eBay exhaust sounds just like a cheap eBay exhaust. Who would have known? But somehow it's still an improvement because it sounds like ass out the back instead of ass from the middle of the car. And I can hear myself talk, which is awesome. So, part of the problems I was having yesterday was, I mean, the exhaust itself seems like it's shoved way too far forward. And and I wasn't able to use the catalytic converter I bought because the flanges were clocked wrong and just wouldn't line up. There's a pretty simple solution for this, simple and obvious, that I was just too tired to think about or would have even wanted to implement yesterday, because I just kind of wanted to get that done. And that's simply to go get a 2 1/4 inch to 2 1/4 inch piece of exhaust coupling, and I would literally fix all my problems. I could line the flange up with the catalytic converter the way I wanted it, and I could also move the exhaust back a couple inches. I'm not going to do that today. I'm still sore from yesterday. I am almost 40. Crawling around on the ground hurts these days. I do plan on working on the car because I got used another cigarette lighter that has the little bit on the back, or the little screw on section, the outside screw on section, and a new lock for the glove box, or a latch for the glove box. I have no idea what's even in the glove box. I did buy this thing from a hippie in Akron, Ohio, so who knows what kind of treasures are in there. I should also have, I don't know if they're still popular or a thing, or in style I should say, but I also bought some hood spacers that should be here today. I used to have them on an old 99 EX I used to have. That was a really nice car. I kind of regret getting rid of it. And I should also have a part showing up, which would be the focus of probably the next video. But for now, I think I'm done with this, so I will get back with you in the next video.